the job done, but also honor everyone's voice, right? Because it's the board evaluation. It's not a me evaluation, right? So our objective today, if you don't go through the history, when I've been a part of this, is that when we do the board evaluation, and I know some of you have not done this and some of you have, but this is the time where we will discuss to reach consensus. And then as we discussed last time, whether you're on the board or not, because I know we've got some seat changing happening as well, this information will be used to help us write our goals. Okay. So I'm going to share, and Amy, thank Amy in advance. She's going to be our note capturer for the details of that so that we don't lose them and all of those things. And so she has a little chart where she's going to capture these pieces for us. So you don't have to worry about, and that goes to the Amy Robinson, you don't have to worry about capturing the details because Amy Johnson is going to be capturing those, the minutia of it, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Amy and Laura.
Yeah. We thought about that when we chatted earlier because I was like, well, it doesn't need to go in the minutes, but we need it. So, all right. So I'm going to share my desktop and just talk you through these protocols. It's going to be very simple. My screen share it doesn't look like it normally does.
It's different, isn't it?
It's weird. Can you even see my desktop?
Nope.
Not yet.
Yet.
Well, it's not highlighted. It's just not giving me the opportunity. Wait a minute. Let me start over. Advanced. So I don't, okay. I don't have it.
I think I can make you the host now, Laura.
That's the problem.
You're just a co-host, but I thought co-host worked.
Yeah, it usually does. It must be something funky in the settings. We'll see.
You're the host now.
It's giving me this weird optimize for computer sound. Usually you just click the share screen and you share your screen. I wonder if it's because we're on live on YouTube. That shouldn't matter. Oh, wait. Well, no, that's not. Who can start sharing? Everybody. That shouldn't matter. Let me try one more time. Nope, that's weird. Was this doing it for you too, Amy Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. What should we do? I can just talk about it.
To Amy and have her share it again as host. So it's just coming off of her computer.
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
That makes me nervous though, because I've never had that problem. See, that's the thing. You get on here and you're like, oh, I'm getting the hang of it. And then something weird happens.
Or it might be because this is an ASD account and you don't have privileges or something. It could be
yeah, and you have it set up a little probably more strict now since Zoom had a few issues with privacy and what people could do and shouldn't do.
Yes.
Point. Okay, I'm going to send it to.
It worked, Laura.
Oh, that's mine. I was checking to see if I could share mine, but
yes,
that's me.
I see. We are viewing John Trampush's screen.
Yeah. So it's something on your machine, Laura, because I'm able to share.
That's super weird. Okay, well, I'm going to send it to Amy, and then maybe I'll figure it out in the interim. Because I don't have any other buttons to where I can problem solve it.
Unless it's like some kind of bandwidth issue.
Well, no, I mean, we are on here all the time. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to waste time. So Amy will share it. So while she's doing that, we're going to use a card stack speaking order. Okay. So basically I put everyone's name in an order. Sorry if you don't like where your name is at. And we will switch it up. Okay. So the first, when you see the protocol, when she shares it, and I can't even remember who is first now. It might be John.
It's John.
Okay, it's John. That means John is going to go first. So for each question, we are going to follow the card stack. And I will switch it so that John doesn't always have to go first. Like we'll start from the bottom, top, bottom, etc. Okay. So did I not send you the right thing?
Are you looking at the board evaluation consensus building protocols?
No, I'm looking at the note capture.
Sorry. You did, you sent it.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So for each question, what we're going to do, and we're only doing this for parts 1, 2, and 4, as I had mentioned earlier. For 3, we don't have to come to consensus, but for the other 3 that we do. So for each question in each of those sections, we are going to do a flash round 1. Flash round 1 is where each of you, when it is your turn to talk, is going to say whatever you decided. So for example, question number 1 under powers and duties, John is going to go, needs improvement because blah, blah, blah. Then it's Alex's turn. Satisfactory because blah, blah, blah. And we're going to keep going until everyone has said their thing. Amy is going to attempt to capture that. So the idea with round 1 is we're not interrupting. We're not asking questions. We're just flashing through. What do we think and why do we think it? Questions about round 1? Awesome. After we get done, and that's just one of the questions, Amy's going to tell us where we landed, hopefully, or we are going to tell ourselves. Are we in consensus? Are we not? Which items are we not in consensus? Okay. So the purpose of round 2 is to open the floor for discussion. And I realize this might feel structured for you, but the point of this is so that we're not just sitting around having talks and then wait, what are we doing? Right. I'm trying to hopefully you feel like this is going to help us move through it. So for each area where we feel like we need to discuss, the floor will open for discussion there where we don't agree or we have a clarification for someone. And then we've exhausted that, we will move into a vote. And the vote is going to be a simple thumbs. Woo, right? I thought about using chat, but this will just be faster. So thumbs up means I'm good. Done talking about that. Sideways, I'm good. I can live with it. Down, I want to talk about it more. I'll model. Okay, makes sense? And so then Amy's going to say, we came to consensus. Well, we can come to consensus that we're unsatisfactory or we need improvement. Whatever it is, we're writing that down. The point is that we come to agreement that we're either excellent, satisfactory, needs improvement, or unsatisfactory.
That works.
Okay, so any questions about the process?
I guess I have a question. I'm sorry.
No, please.
Are we to remain silent and just give you thumbs up and thumbs down most of the time, or when we go through this round 1, are we going to go in the sequence that you had above and give our answers? Sorry.
No. Correct. Yes. Round 1, you're gonna talk and you're gonna say what you think and why you think it. But I do think the goal for round 2 is that by the time we're done, that the thumb thing can be silent.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I'm just trying to mostly stay on mute because I got a little person nearby, so I apologize if you guys experience a delay with me.
No problem. And I will keep my eye on chat too, in case, you just need, you need to use chat because
The
that's
chat
possible.
has been disabled, Laura.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was gonna say, I didn't even see that.
okay.
Yeah, that's good because I was confused.
It's all different. This ASD version is just all different. Okay, that's okay. So yeah, I'll make sure I scan your videos to look for thumbs before we move on.
All right, I'm video challenged, so you're just gonna have to deal with me talking, I guess.
Okay, Kevin. Yeah, thanks
Eight
for that.
thumbs up.
And Carter, I think Carter's not on video.
No, I'll just I can say thumbs up.
Right. And really, if you can stay silent unless you need to talk about it, you can say thumbs down, and then that means you're not. If I don't hear anything, I'm going to assume you're good.
All right.
Laura, we can also do the green check mark under participants. You can go to your name and add a check mark if you'd like.
Is that in the chat? Well, I don't have access to that when you're sharing,
Okay.
but yeah. Okay. Did I hit everything? I think
Yes,
so.
hang on just a second. I need to do this. There we go.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, if you wouldn't mind, Amy, could you scroll up so we can see the card stack, or scroll down, whatever. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Just in case they need to see that. Okay. With that, John, you're going to be on the hot seat to start us. We're going to
Not a
start
problem.
with part 1.
Powers and duties, board attendance, punctuality, composition of board.
Oh, see, good. You did what I was going to say. So for the beginning of each one, I will say the question just because I know this is a lot of numbers. All right. Go for it, John.
Okay, for number 1, board attendance, punctuality, I put satisfactory, but I'm adding the caveat that I'm going to have to answer for a lot of these is I feel the only way most of my evidence is not seeing a problem from a distance, because I've been monitoring things, but I haven't been physically present to track punctuality because I've been gone. So I feel like for most of the answers, as far as evidence, I'm kind of on weak ground. What I noticed, and I'm saying this now once long because I'm going to be saying the same thing over and over, but I'm going to abbreviate it, is if I haven't seen a problem, heard a problem, detected it in any way from a distance, then I'm not gonna think it's a problem. I'm saying satisfactory. Sorry.
No, it's good. Thank you. All right, Alex, you're up.
All right, so I'm pretty much good to go with what John had to say there on those issues. I'm not looking for a problem to highlight if there's really not a problem there. And from what I've seen, it's like the folks, for the most part, good to go unless there's something comes up they don't have any control over in their lives.
Awesome. Thank you. Lily.
I would have to agree with the satisfactory rate. I've seen a lot of APCs where they regularly don't meet quorum, so they can't get business done. And it's rare that we see that where we're not meeting our quorum, so we can't move action items or things like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Shelley.
I would agree on satisfactory. I would add that, other than that, usually folks are present and on time. I really appreciate that we do a lot of virtual participation and we try and have virtual video connecting in frequently when folks are traveling and away.
Thank you. Amy Robinson.
I also chose satisfactory. I think that we meet those, and I have to own that I'm sometimes late. Apologize for that. But I think
Thank
we're
you,
pretty good.
Amy. Kelly.
I chose satisfactory. I was thinking along the lines that Shelley was talking about, how people make an effort to call in or figure out a way to join the meeting remotely when they can't be there. So I feel like that's a good effort by everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Carter.
I agree with satisfactory, or that's why I went with. We always have a quorum as well. There's good representation, I feel, in the board. Usually there's at least one student rep there. So yeah, satisfactory.
Thank you. And I'm up next. I also said satisfactory. I'd agree with Carter with the variety of perspectives. I think we got a good mixture. And then the only other add-on I would say is that we attend special meetings, trainings, functions, or at least try to. Brenda.
I agree with satisfactory for all the reasons everybody else has already given.
Right on. Kevin.
Ditto.
Nice.
I mean, I think you guys hit it all. I was going to actually say we were
Right.
satisfactory plus or excellent. That, you know, we have a wide diversity on the board. We've always met our quorum. Occasionally we're a few minutes late just waiting for people that we know are coming, but we'd have a quorum without them. So we're satisfactory at a minimum.
Nice. Thank you. All right. That moves us into 2. Amy, I think we have consensus already.
Yep, it's just a question of whether it's satisfactory or satisfactory plus.
This is true. I think are we okay if we say satisfactory? I think Kevin was, yeah. What do we think?
I'm good with satisfactory.
Yeah. Okay. All right. With that, we can move on.
Okay.
And to
Question
clarify,
number
I'm not going to have us vote. I'm not going to have us do thumbs if we're already there. Just FYI. Unless you guys want to do it that way, then we can. But. All right. Second question. Board supports academic operation and mission of the school.
I put B, satisfactory, and I basically think, given the weirdness of the year, we've done quite a bit. I always think it would be, there's more we could do, so I don't think we quite got up to excellent, but I would say it's satisfactory.
Awesome, thanks. We did spring. Stuff is in the air in the spring. Anyway, Alex.
Yeah, I agree with John again on that, satisfactory. I mean, of the boards that I know I'm involved with, this is one of the more positive ones as far as the mission of what the board you're serving on the board for. And I see that support coming up. So I always feel good when I leave. So satisfactory.
I'm thinking Laura froze.
Uh-oh, Laura looks frozen.
Lily?
Yeah. We go on to Lily.
Okay. I chose satisfactory. Pretty much everything we do, we relate it back to how does this follow the charter? How does this follow our mission of the charter? And we relate it back to our core goals of having Highland as a school. We're not kind of just doing stuff willy-nilly. It's for the charter and it's for reasons that the school was built on. So I'm gonna say satisfactory.
Shelley?
Right. Yes, I'm next. I tend to be a high ranker, so I actually had marked my last one down. So I said excellent. And I'm happy with satisfactory as well. So just so y'all know that. You know, we're regularly updated on how things are going and we make decisions and we're always taking you know, our mission into account, just like what everybody else has said. So everything from budget to marketing to staffing and resource distribution. So that's mine.
Thank you so much. Amy Robinson.
I agree, satisfactory. I don't have anything to add.
Thank you. Kelly.
I actually put excellent on this. I know John said that there's always more we could do, and of course there is. but I feel like every action item or every conversation is always about what's going to be best for the students and the school as a whole. I've never experienced any board member coming with some personal problem or something. Everyone is super flexible and is willing to say, well, whatever we need to do, that's going to be best for our students. And so I think the support from this board is excellent.
Thanks, Kelly. Carter.
I would also have to say excellent. Both agreeing with what Ms. Doherty said as far as putting the students' best interest in mind whenever we meet. So yeah, excellent.
All right. Student-centered mindset. Love it. So I did put satisfactory. I was next, right? Oh, yes. Satisfactory. I was thinking about everything that's been said and also just things when we've had functions at the school and noticing how the board interacts and is the board. It's behind the scenes, but support. And again, thinking about the purpose of the school. So that was mine. Brenda.
I actually had also put excellent because I feel everything the board does is solely for the school, and it's brought up kind of like Kelly had said, it's brought up in the meetings, and we solely are there to support the school, and I think we do a great job of that.
Thanks, Brenda. Kevin.
All right, I think we're satisfactory here. When I look at the two parts, I mean, we're definitely very much focused on the academic operations. I think the mission of the school, the second part, I think has subtly changed over the last couple, 2-3 years. Most of the time, the board is in sync with those changes, but you know, with any change, there's some lurching that goes on, and the board sometimes leads it, sometimes it lags the changes in the mission, the subtle changes. So I think we're satisfactory.
All right, thank you. So moving into round 2, Amy, where does that leave us? I think we had 4 or 5 excellents.
We've got 4 excellents and the rest are satisfactory.
Okay. How many people are us? But we have to talk about it anyway. So if you said that we were excellent and you have something more to add to why you said we were excellent, now is your time. Is there anyone that rated us excellent that would be not happy with going to satisfaction? Okay, so with that, we're going to do thumbs. So again, if you're okay with satisfactory, it'd be like this, or you can live with it. That means, you know, whatever. You don't need to talk about it. I can live with that down. You want to talk about it. Lily's like, thumb is perfect. Awesome. Thank you. And I got to remember Carter and Kevin. I'm like, silent means good. Okay. Thank you so much. Moving on. Are we okay with the flow so far? Okay, yell at me if you're not. I can take it. All right. The third, we're going to switch the order. So Kevin's going to go first this time. Number 3 was about the hiring process of the principal. And I did put on here to base it on the most recent one, given that we had all experienced it.
All right, so I guess I get to go first. I would say satisfactory to excellent. It's one of those where, you know, you split hairs there. I mean, we're all involved in the process. We're all involved with the Q&A, involved with the public that was there for that night. We did follow the hiring process according to the rules that were laid out in front of us. So I'd easily go with an excellent on this.
Thank you, Kevin. Brenda.
I definitely put excellent because I felt we all knew we wanted Miss Johnson, plain and simple, but we put all of that aside and we said, no, we have rules we have to go by. We have a structure we have to go by. We have to follow that and put our feelings aside. And I think we did that, and we did it really well. So no, I definitely think we deserve an excellent on this.
Awesome, Brenda. Thank you. I too said excellent. I would add evidence for that would be the checking and adjusting of the process, responding to the urgency in the manner that we did, handling to Brenda's point, handling our emotions during the process, not only for that reason, but for all the other stuff, and involving the district, following our process with fidelity. I thought it was probably one of our stronger points as a board. Carter.
I would have to go excellent as well. I totally agree with the what Brenda had said earlier about you know, we all knew who we wanted, but we still followed the same order. So
You guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly.
I also said excellent for the reasons that you listed, because it was just, it was an emergency situation, and yet we still were able to just come together and follow the procedure.
Yeah. Thanks, Kelly. Amy.
I put satisfactory on this one. I'm hearing everybody, and I would have no problem switching to excellent. I think that the way that everybody mobilized and came together, and especially you, Laura, I remember being very impressed, was amazing. I personally felt like we did struggle to be impartial, and I had a hard time with that because I wanted us to be very impartial. And so I'm a satisfactory.
Fair. That's fair. Thank you. Shelley.
I also put excellent. The process that we followed, the rubric that we put together and followed, the documentation, providing equity in the process to all of the applicants, maintaining that professionalism with each candidate. So we made sure they all had the same treatment, the same questions, and then involving the entire school with the meet and greet part of the process. And even offering an online component for that meet and greet to really reach out and give that opportunity for families who couldn't be there in person. I thought we really did an excellent job with the hiring process and excellent results.
Thanks, Shelley. Lily.
I would have to go with excellent, not only because we followed our own rules. I believe that we treated each candidate fairly, and we involved students, which not a lot of schools gets their students say in who gets to be their principal, which I think is important because as much as parents and teachers deal with principals, students deal with principals in like much more harsh terms, I would say. Because I remember going to the principal's office. I never did anything bad, but I'd go to the principal's office and I'd be like, it's this thing from 5th grade that I did, isn't it? So it's an important part in the student's life who their principal is.
It's a different relationship for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like Laura's frozen again. Let's go to Alex. Thank you for that.
I thought the process was excellent and for a variety of reasons. Number one, I didn't realize until we did the final interviews there that one of the candidates was actually the spouse of one of my assistant scoutmasters. I didn't know that initially, but after the selection process did go through, there was no situation where I felt like, oh, gee, maybe I should have done. No, that's the way it worked out, and that's the way it was. And I did not, influence anything up or down. I just did my duty. So I'd say excellent.
I also put excellent. I'm the last. I put excellent. For all the reasons mentioned above. I was very impressed by the amount of work and focus and just the whole process. I thought was very well done, and it was a lot of work the way it was done, but it was worth it. And so excellent.
Okay, so for step 2, we had 9 excellent and 1 satisfactory. Laura looks like she's still frozen. So I will open it up to comments. If anybody would like to share anything else about anyone who said excellent would like to share anything. Got the floor.
Can
Okay.
we saw Laura somehow?
Let's see. Amy, did you want to share anything else about satisfactory?
No, thanks.
Okay. So it looks like the general consensus is excellent. So we'll do step 3 now and go with thumbs. Thanks for keeping them up. I have to switch pages. Looks like Laura is still struggling. Okay, so we will go with excellent then. See if I can spell excellent. Okay. All right. Looks like Laura left and is trying to get back on. So could somebody read the question for number 4?
We can just go back in the regular order for now. Number 4, the board measures student progress and principal performance. And I put satisfactory. I think we have been very good about monitoring and questioning during principal reports and stuff, but we haven't really initiated much in the way of additional inquiries. And so I said it was satisfactory, but I didn't think we excelled at that.
Okay. Looks like we're back to you, Alex.
Oh, okay. I would also find satisfactory. We're on the right track, but there's room for improvement.
Okay. All right, now Lily and then Shelley.
I'm gonna say excellent because of how closely we monitor student engagement as well as student progress, test results, and surveys. And I'm gonna also say excellent on the principal part because we do get reports from the principal almost every meeting. And the principal always has something to add in that's beneficial to the conversation and makes it more relevant to the, like, I won't not say relevant, but it makes it more student focused as well.
So I said satisfactory. I feel like I understand we do a principal evaluation each year, but I feel like we're marginally involved in measuring student progress. I know we're informed about how things are going, and then that we're told that staff are, looking into making different changes if students aren't doing as well as we'd like to see them doing in certain content areas. But I do feel like the board is less involved in that process. I'm not sure that, yeah. I mean, I think it's the teacher's area really, so it's kind of an interesting question, I guess.
Okay.
Amy and Kelly are next. I know
Okay.
you're.
Oh, I put satisfactory, and I think we do a pretty good job. Sorry, it's going to get a little loud in my house, I think. I put satisfactory, and the reason is that I think we do a lot of listening and learning about the results of state required testing, and we're presented with data. I don't know that we're very proactive. And one thing that, I'm not sure that we have nailed is translating Highland's unique method of preparing students for the future into data that we can look at. And I'm not sure that these state required assessments really track that. So that's what I wrote down on my notes. And then in terms of measuring principal performance, I think we really just do that once a year, and we lean on Alex and other requirements from the district. So satisfactory from me.
Kelly?
Yeah, so I actually wavered, and I'm really hard on my students too, but I actually put needs improvement just because, for the same reasons that other people have stated, I feel like we're told, but as a board, we're not in, there's no involvement of, what can we do about it, or how we can. I'm also kind of frustrated with the tools we have to measure student progress, and that's not our fault. It's not our fault that the test data has been pretty much unusable for the last 5 years or whatever. That's not our deal, but I feel frustrated that we are given all these numbers, and then I don't know how we're using them really.
Okay, I'm here again, but I'm gonna keep my video off. Just maybe help with it keeps dropping.
Okay.
Sorry.
We were as far as Carter next.
Oh, I would have to go, let's see, I put satisfactory, but kind of almost on the verge of needs improvement. Kind of for the same reasons Ms. Doherty said about we have all this data, but I'm not really sure how we're using it to benefit the school as a total whole. Yeah, I would say satisfactory.
Laura, what'd you put? Is she still there?
Yes, she is here.
Is it my turn?
Yep,
Yeah.
Laura.
So can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So I
Yeah,
have
nodding.
needs improvement. I think we had discussed this as a board about especially the principal performance as far as the protocols and procedure, and wanting to get on the same page with that. And so for that main reason, I put needs improvement.
Okay.
Brenda?
I put satisfactory for all the reasons that everybody else has been putting. I'm pretty sure, or I feel we hear all the progresses and we do it. I mean, I can understand some of the unsatisfactory or close to it, just because, yeah, what can we do about it? But as far as getting the information and doing all of that, I think we definitely do.
All right. Thank you, Brenda. Kevin?
All right, I kind of struggle with this problem with the question with the same reason that Kelly and Shelley did, I believe, which is the board, again, 2 parts. The board measures students' progress. We don't measure student progress. We're informed of the progress and we're given a whole bunch of data. I don't know that it's the board's job to measure the progress. I think it's the job's board to be appraised of how the progress is going, and we do meet that. So I don't like necessarily that part of the question, but the second part, the principal's performance, how do we measure that? And I think we've discussed that also needs improvement. So I'm gonna go with the needs improvement.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the wording of that question. I was like, I double checked it from the other eval tool, and I was like, that's not even in our I mean, the way it's stated, it's not our job, but all right. So where do we land, Amy?
Brenda, could you repeat yours?
Satisfactory.
Satisfactory, okay.
So it should be 163.
Okay. Yep, that's correct. Yep. 163. So 1 excellent, 6 satisfactory, and 3 needs improvement.
have a
Okay, so
discussion.
I'm more than willing
yeah,
to
this one,
mind it needs improvement,
Okay.
especially when
Okay.
when focusing on the measuring principle for performance. So I'm pretty ambivalent. I could go either direction with that one. I think we need improvement. You talked me into it.
I want to switch
Okay.
mine to needs improvement too.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can move mine to improvement as well. And,
Right.
but at the same time as saying that, I do question, is it our job to measure student progress? And does that belong in this particular evaluation question? Is that our job, or is our job to offer, you know, that I feel like personally that's not the board's job. The board might not be the expert at measuring that progress, but maybe at helping identify potential solutions or deciding on which of the solutions, you know, being a part of that process that the teachers and principal bring forward to us. I don't know. I question that piece.
So what I'm hearing, just to clarify, is that we might have consensus around being needs improvement with the principal performance, but that we should note with the wording of question number 4, we're not in agreement with how it is worded. And so that might be a check and adjustment for the actual tool itself. Because
Yeah.
I did check our bylaws and I don't believe they use the word measure, but I could be wrong about that, but I did not change the wording. So 2 different things. One is we need to update the tool. 2, do we have consensus of needs improvement though, I guess is the second part.
Yeah, I think that principal performance is not being measured in a way that I would consider satisfactory yet. And because of the "and" there's no way, I think it needs improvement.
No objection.
Okay, so thumbs for that. We're okay with saying that we need to improve that. Sideways, we can live with it. And when we're voting on this, just to be clear, we're not saying it's about the performance of the actual current principal. It is about our process, right? Okay, just to be
Correct.
clear there. Okay. All right. I think we're good on that one. Moving on, number 5. You guys can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks. I think not having the video is happening. So number 5 is about approving and monitoring the budget and as needed, acting as a fiscal agent. I think, did we start with Kevin this last one?
No, we started
Okay.
with him.
Go, Kevin.
All right. So again, as I read the question, I don't think that the board has ever acted as fiscal agents for the receipt of funds such as grants or donations. That said, that we definitely monitor the budget. We're kept appraised where we're at, what we want to do, how we want to do it. So I think we're satisfactory there. Again, we've never acted as a fiscal agent for receipt of funds.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Brenda.
I agree with Kevin. We never have acted as a fiscal agent. I put needs improvement, and I hate to say it, it's more me who needs improvement because this is my job and me meeting with the principal prior to our meetings. And that has never been a good standing practice. And that's something I've got to get better at. So I actually put needs improvement on that aspect.
All right, thanks for sharing that, Brenda. I noted, for me, I noted the and as needed for this question because of my lack of knowledge as far as being a fiscal for the rest of that question. So I put satisfactory only because of that and as needed. I think if it didn't have that, then I would have had issues because I would not have had clarity. And then that would have been evidence for me that the board needs to improve there. So Carter.
Wait, Laura, what was your vote then?
Satisfactory, sorry.
Thanks.
I put satisfactory, just from what I've seen over being on the board for over a year and what ASD, what we had to face last year with ASD, as far as the budget goes. So I put satisfactory.
Thanks, Carter. Kelly?
I put satisfactory. Feel like the reports are always given to.
Thanks. Amy?
Satisfactory. I had the same focus on the as needed language, so.
Awesome. I feel so smart now. I'm like, yes, those are my the details. Thank you, Amy. Shelley?
Well, I put excellent because we regularly are making budgetary decisions each year, sometimes a couple times throughout the year, as things are changing, and we weigh tough decisions through that process. I also noted I don't see grants and donations come through APC. I see them come through other means, if any. It's through PTSO typically for the school. So you have as needed. So that's
Okay.
all.
Thank you, Shelley. Lily?
I'm gonna say satisfactory because we do overview budget. We review the budget frequently and we tie things into our budget, but I have a question. I can't remember right now. Do we approve large purchase items as a board? I feel like we have in the past. I feel like I remember that. Okay, so we do. And I think that's an active way that we participate in the board, the budget revision and all of that.
Yeah, good example. Thank you. Alex?
Well, I approach it from the perspective of having been a principal and having every Thursday, occasionally every other Thursday, the charter school academic policies committee would come to me and give me my orders for the next week or maybe 2 weeks.
Oh, boy.
And so, having been there, I have sort of a hands-off approach when it deals with it. And I basically like the way we work together here on that. But I understand the satisfactory, so I would give it a satisfactory.
Thank you, Alex. John?
I put satisfactory as well. I think we do a fine job monitoring and approving the budget, and haven't had much as needed monitoring of other things, but it wasn't needed. So.
Right. Okay.
Since I know one of mine is one that's messing things up, I have no problems going up to satisfactory. Like I said, I know the reason I put what I did was because of me.
Thank you for that, Brenda.
Brenda, I did note that in the evidence section.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, please capture that.
Yep.
Because we can definitely, especially look at just even the job descriptions or stuff like that, or how we're approaching that section of the agenda each time, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I don't think we need to thumb vote on that. We can move on to number 6. For this one, this is all about co-creating the agenda and that they are distributed in a timely manner. We're going to start at the top. John?
I said satisfactory. I've been satisfied with the timeliness. I know the bylaws say a week in advance, but I don't need it a week in advance. I need to look it over beforehand, and so I put satisfactory.
Yeah. Thanks, John. Alex?
I'm satisfied with the way we did it. You could always be more timely about certain things, but I'm satisfied with the way I get it, and I have time to review it, and if I don't review it, that's my problem.
That's right. That's right, Alex. All right. Thank you. Lily?
I'm gonna say satisfied because we get it digitally in advance, and then there's also paper copies you can take notes on while we're at the meetings, and there's always extra copies available for if there is a public. So I'm gonna say satisfactory.
Thank you. Thanks for that evidence list. Shelley?
I said excellent. We're regularly asked if in advance if we wanted to add anything to the agenda. And we do get the materials in advance. There's always copies at the meeting as well.
Thank you, Shelley. Amy,
Satisfactory.
thank you. Kelly,
Satisfactory.
Carter,
Satisfactory.
I said satisfactory as well. Brenda,
I had put excellent, but I have no problems going down to satisfactory.
thank you, Brenda. Kevin,
Satisfactory.
satisfactory. Okay, anyone in the excellent arena need to discuss? Okay, I'm gonna have us do thumbs on that, pretty please, that we are okay with a satisfactory on the agenda, timeliness. All right, I love y'all's facial expressions when you're thumb voting. It's awesome. Okay. Moving on, number 7. And I am noting our time because we want to move into executive session at some point, yes? But we're going to keep going, yes? Okay. All right. So number 7, we involve families and the community in support of the school vision. I'm going to have John start us off.
Well, I had a hard time answering this one because I haven't been physically present much, but I put satisfactory for the simple reason that I have heard no problems, but not seen much, at least initiative described over emails. So you're going to get better evidence from other people.
Thanks, John. Alex?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with it. You know, I think I'm paraphrasing part of what John says. I'm not out there looking for problems. And none has been dumped in my lap. So I'm satisfied. It's satisfactory to me.
Okay, thank you. Lily?
I'm gonna say needs improvement because at our meetings with big ticket items like getting a new school or getting a new principal, there's tons of parents and families there to support. But it's also the small things on our agendas that matter as well that we need parents there for and parent testimony as well. So I think needs improvement just because I feel like we can reach out to parents and students more and get them more involved.
Thank you very much, Lily. Shelley?
I originally said satisfactory. I'm fine with satisfactory or needs improvement. I'm not sure where we're at with regards to school vision. We do involve with surveys and asking different questions like the are you returning and when there's different events. And I don't know, you know, and it can get a little intense when you do ask for lots and lots of input on a school vision. So some schools end up getting into trouble that way. So I don't know that it's bad. I'll keep it at satisfactory for that. But parents are always invited to join meetings. They just tend to not come. The board retreat is really where we deal with the vision, at least from my experience in the last couple of years. And that's with the board and, you know, key staff personnel. So yeah. I don't really know that we're asking about the vision to families. That's all.
Should I jump in?
Yeah.
I was a needs improvement on this one. Pretty much what Lily said. And I know that that's focusing on getting parents or getting community involved in what the board's doing. But I think that what we're doing is we're supporting the mission of the school or the vision of the school. And I just don't feel that what the APC does is very integrated. And maybe that's because I don't see communications or really know what's happening. But from my perspective, I'd like to see more parent involvement. I'd like to see more routine communications that go out so that parents know, hey, we have an APC and this is what it does. And here are the things under consideration on a more routine basis.
Thank you very much. Kelly?
I agree with Amy. I put needs improvement. I just think we could do a lot better. I don't know that a lot of families and community members, it's our branding issue that we've had for a while. I don't even know if they know what our school vision is. I'm sure they would be supportive and be more involved if they knew how. And I don't think it's because they don't feel invited or welcome. I just think, yeah, the communication piece, or I don't know what we do differently, but I feel like there's a disconnect there.
Case in point, we're streaming this live on YouTube and we have 0 people watching. And I sent out a text last night inviting parents. So maybe they don't know what the APC does. So thanks for that. Sorry, I interrupted. Thank you for letting me do that.
Okay. Thank you. Carter?
I also put needs improvement pretty much for the same reason. I don't know how much of the communication is actually getting out to parents and students as well. I know a lot of students, when I talk to them, letting them know that I'm on APC, half of them don't even know what APC is or what we do. So it'd be nice to see kind of a growth in that in time.
Thank you. I also had needs improvement. I think that, to echo Shelley's point and some others that supported the school vision, I think that, we could be doing community forums to get feedback on the vision. I think there's a lot more that the board could do in that arena. I do think that the school is getting input from the families and doing what they're doing as far as data and progress and, hey, are you coming back? How are you feeling? I don't think that we as a board have a sense of the stakeholders' view on how we're doing on the vision, which that's why I wrote down needs improvement. So I'll leave it at that. Brenda?
I also put needs improvement for all the reasons listed.
Thanks, Brenda.
And
Kevin?
and it's hard because I'm on both boards and I know we really need to get parents and students involved more in the community.
Yep. Thank you. Kevin?
Yeah, so going into this, that was satisfactory. I think that this kind of falls under that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Could we do it better and get more parents involved? Yeah, but we're satisfactory and with what we do to invite them to everything that we do and give them a seat at the table, whether they choose to show up and exercise their rights to be a participant is up to them, not us. So I think we're satisfactory. I think sure we could do things better, but we're satisfactory.
Okay. Thanks. Where's that leave us?
That leaves us with 6 needs improvement and 4 satisfactory.
Oh, okay.
Well,
and I'm going to step out real quick to grab my computer charger. So
okay,
continue to talk. I'll be right back.
When I think about what the board has done to involve the family and community in the school vision, I think I want to switch my vote to needs improvement. I think we can definitely get more involved in the vision. I think we've done a fine job making people feel welcome and encouraging them to participate in events. No problem there.
Yeah, I agree.
As far as filling out a deeper or clarifying a deeper school vision, we could be more involved.
All right. Thanks, John. Any others that said satisfactory that want to add more to the, yeah, do you have anything else to add?
No, this I can easily go to needs improvement. This isn't. Yeah, I'll go with needs improvement.
Same here.
Okay. Then I think we're ready to vote. Please do the thumbs or no noise, one or the other. Awesome. Thank you. I feel like we need to get a snapshot of these thumb vote pictures. They're entertaining me for whatever reason. I love it. Okay. Now we're going to move on. So that was part 1. And Amy's captured that. So again, any of those needs improvement, we can use that later to talk about our goals and what we want to focus on. So part 2 is a lot shorter. Actually, the rest of this is shorter. Part 1 was the bigger chunk, but we're going to move on to part 2. And we have 3 questions for part 2. I'm going to have Kevin kick us off. The first one is about regular, this is actually got brought up with number 7 in the previous one. Regular meetings and communicates them to the community, and special meetings are held when necessary.
Yeah, looking at the measuring stick, what constitutes excellent, sat, needs improvement, and unsat. We're satisfactory here. We hold regular meetings. We communicate with the community when we're holding them. Special meetings are only done when necessary and within the bounds of the laws, etc. So we're satisfactory here.
Thanks, Kevin. Brenda.
I actually think we're excellent because we do. We hold a meeting every other month, like clockwork, unless something happens. And when we need to, we hold our special meetings. So I think we're right on par.
Thank you, Brenda. I had satisfactory for things that were already said. Carter.
I agree with satisfactory for the same reasons.
Kelly.
Satisfactory.
Amy.
Satisfactory.
Shelley.
I said excellent. When we've had some crises happen, there's special meetings. I guess that doesn't count though. That's never mind. That's separate. That's school stuff, not APT. So that doesn't count. I said excellent because we do a good job getting that information out. There's lots of different means that families are reached about the meetings, and we offer virtual participation options. Everything from the principal hire when we had the family meet and greet. We offer that even by virtual means.
Good points, Shelley. Good points. Thank you. Lily.
I'm gonna have to say satisfactory as well, because I still don't think we just go that a little bit above and beyond to get to that excellence yet.
Thank you, Lily. And I know we don't have a rubric. This whole tool thing needs to get worked on. So I understand there's some subjectivity going on there. Alex.
Looks like we lost Alex.
Oh,
Yeah, Alex left.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
okay.
That means
Bye,
we,
Alex. He'll come back. John.
I said satisfactory, although honestly, it's funny you mentioned the rubric. I was thinking to myself, I wouldn't really know how to differentiate much between excellent and satisfactory on this, but
Exactly.
I said satisfactory.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Where's that? Yeah, that's why I think I even said in my email, one of our, as far as operational goals could be to go through this whole thing and do some checking and adjusting. So where does that leave us, Amy, for number 1? I think we got a few excellent.
Yep, we've got 2 excellent and 8 satisfactory. Well, Alex didn't go, so 7 satisfactory.
Okay.
And I have no problems going down to satisfactory.
Yeah.
Okay.
In here.
Okay. That means we don't need to vote on that. So we're going to go with satisfactory. Moving on to number 2. I'm going to have John start us off. Number 2 talks about researching and development of special projects through committees. We establish committees to research and develop.
I don't feel like I've been in touch enough with that. I'm gonna save my answer to the end. I want to listen more right now because I really feel out of touch.
Okay. And it's okay for you to say NA sometimes too. Like I even put that, as new members, but you're not new, but it's, I mean, if you really can't, right.
I'm out of touch.
Alex is not here. Lily.
I'm gonna say needs improvement because we've had like one really good thing come out of committee, which was Phoenix Rising. And I'm gonna say that with our other committees, I haven't seen, other than the principal hiring committee, which kind of involved a little bit of everybody, we haven't seen a lot of committees take off and flourish the way I've seen committees typically do, or projects come out of committees. at a more rapid pace so that they can see what works and what doesn't for that committee's goal.
Thanks, Lily. Shelley.
Well, I had excellent. Hearing Lily makes me think it should be satisfactory. I was thinking about I was thinking about our marketing committee that did, we've had some great improvements with marketing since then, and looking at our school numbers now since that took off. The principal hire committee, we had the new building committee that was looking at the new building and trying to wrestle with that possibility. And then I believe we recently had a bylaw committee, review committee, and then everything's kind of changed a little bit recently, and we're not moved quite as fast on that. But yeah, so I feel like, there's definitely committees that are happening to do things, but maybe there could be more. So, but I did mark excellent. I'm also happy with satisfactory.
Okay, thanks, Shelley. Amy.
Satisfactory.
Thanks, Amy. Kelly.
Satisfactory, and my main evidence was back to the building committees when we were looking at different properties, and I felt like that was a successful committee that explored those options.
Okay, thanks. Carter.
Going with satisfactory, just from the other committees that we've had going, as well as what other people have stated earlier.
Okay, thanks. I put needs improvement here, and I did that because I would not be able to tell you what our particular goals for this year is. I think the examples that were brought up are spot on. I think this is an area where we've actually digressed simply because we didn't identify our goals as well as we have in the past. And when we had the marketing committee and the building committee, it is because we had specifically said in retreat and goals from previous eval that that's what we wanted to focus on. So I can move to satisfactory with the idea that we're going to be setting goals, and that usually drives committees. But I did put needs improvement. Brenda.
So I was kind of torn between satisfactory and needs improvement for some of the reasons that you just stated, Laura, that I don't feel, yes, when we have had the committees, we did great, but I feel like we're like kind of in disarray almost right now. And I could definitely stay with the satisfactory. That's not a problem. But yeah, definitely something we need to be working on though.
Thank you, Brenda. Kevin.
Yeah, I was actually excellent. I can slide down to satisfactory. I mean, we establish committees when needed. Committees are supposed to have a limited lifespan. They do their job at doing research and figuring out what's going on, and they bring it back to the board for decisions. So I think we use committees for what they're designed for, and do a good job with them.
Thank you, Kevin.
And Alex is back.
Alex.
Yay.
Hey, Alex. What's your score for part 2, number 2 on board establishes committees?
You're still muted.
I was like, oh, we lost him again. Nope.
Yeah, I can unmute him. There we go.
Everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm satisfactory with that one, you can have enough committees and you can have too many committees. There's all ways across the board on it, but I'm basically satisfied with what we've got and being a part of the committees and having been a part of some, so I'm satisfied with it.
All right, where's that leave us?
I believe we've got 3 needs improvement and 7 satisfactory,
Okay.
unless I messed up somewhere.
Okay.
I think when we look at the next question, that's where most people's kind of issues lie, is with number 3, not number 2. So I think we're satisfactory.
That's
Yeah.
correct, Kevin. That's why I'm willing to go up into satisfactory for 2, because I'm probably not going to go up on number 3. We're going to be, So I'm okay with going with satisfactory because I understand committees they're formed as needed, right? So the act that we actually establish them And granted, we didn't have a much of a need for him this year, but I think there was a reason for that, which hence goes to number 3. Any others that said needs improvement and needs to air anything else? All right, let's do a thumbs on that. I'm a
Satisfactory.
For
sideways. For satisfactory,
Yeah.
yes.
Good to specify.
Sorry, thank
No
you.
worries.
Yeah, thank you. All right, number 3. We're gonna start with Kevin, and this, he already said what it's about. It's about the objectives. So Kevin, go for it.
All right. So yeah, we need improvements with this part of it as far as are we effective in meeting objectives? And sometimes I'm not sure we are in sharing the info with the board and executing. So needs improvement, and I'm going to take a timeout.
Okay. Brenda.
I was torn between satisfactory and needs improvements because of a lot of the reasons I gave in number 2.
Yeah, this almost needs to be in one question altogether. Yep, thanks. Laura, oh, that's me. I'm needs improvement, which I already said why. Carter.
I would go with needs improvement. I feel like sometimes the sharing information aspect of it really isn't as good as it can be.
Awesome, thanks, Carter. Kelly.
Yeah, I would go with needs improvement for what Carter said. I'm never always sure what happens after we say, oh yeah, okay, you guys do that. And then I don't know what happens after that.
Fair, thank you. Amy.
I think satisfactory. I think I have a different sense of what a committee should do, perhaps. But the way I think of them, we do set them up. It's kind of what Kevin said before, for a specific purpose. Then they come back and report to the board. They dissolve if they're not needed anymore. They continue. I think that there's not a lot of sharing of information except what goes to the board. But I think we do fine at that. And I think we do fine at executing plans.
Thanks, Amy. Shelley.
Yeah, I would agree with Amy. And actually, as we've had this whole discussion on number 2 and now number 3, I almost think it's more like in the last year, there's been less committees established, but when we do, I think it's satisfactory. That
Okay. Thank you,
information
Shelley.
does come.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm gonna say needs improvement. Just I've seen committees, like we've mentioned it once, assign it, and then nothing happens, and we kind of just don't hear from it until someone's like, oh hey, what about this committee? And then they're like, oh yeah, that. So I think they dissolve, but even when a committee dissolves, there should be some report back on why it dissolved or what happened with it, just why it didn't take flight, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Lily. Alex.
Yeah, I could go along with that too. Needs improvement. I mean, it's not from a negative perspective, but it just needs improvement in the sense of it's easy for it to kind of fall by the wayside at times. And I've been guilty of that numerous times myself, where, you realize, oh, that's right, we haven't done a committee report or a committee meeting in how long now,
Okay. Thank you, Alex. John. Or John, we start. Yeah, John.
No, yeah, well, I was kind of ambiguous between satisfactory and needs improvement. Now I'm understanding why. The question reads, the board's effective in meeting objectives. I think the board is quite effective in meeting the objectives they set. And a prime example of that is the board self-evaluation process, which I think you've done an excellent job running systematically through the process. I think the problem is we haven't set many objectives. I think the objectives we've set, we've met, but we have been so bombarded as someone pointed out, we really haven't set a lot of goals. So on the one hand, when I look at the literal question, I have to say satisfactory. But when I look at the spirit of what I think it's intending, it's like, well, we weren't very strategic in setting objectives, but that question, that's not exactly what the question says. So I'm kind of hanging in between satisfactory with meeting objectives and needs improvement setting objectives.
Yeah, thank you, John. You basically read my mind. I think I need an additional question that's not here, probably. Where does that put us, Amy? We have 3 or 4 needs improvement, yeah?
3 satisfactory and 7 needs improvement.
Oh,
Unless John, wait, no, sorry, 4 satisfactory. John, you just said
4,
satisfactory.
I'm gonna say
4
needs improvement. I'm gonna say needs improvement with that caveat.
Yeah, so we're 3 and 7.
okay,
Mostly needs improvement.
okay. So can I clarify?
Please.
I'm gonna say, and I would include, at least for my vote here, what I'm hearing is that when we do committees, we feel like they've been pretty good, but maybe not as communicative. Consistent communication probably needs work. There's also a part of our crew here that thinks we need improvement simply for the fact that we don't have objectives. So it's not, when we do have them, we're doing it well. When we do have them, the committees probably maybe need to communicate more at times. But then there's the other side of us that are saying, well, we didn't have committees this year because we didn't have objectives. Anybody want to push back on that very poorly said summary?
You know, just from,
Good, Shelley.
okay, just from what John said, uh-oh, my battery's running low. And hopefully you guys don't lose me here in a sec. Between what you just said and what John just said, you know, it almost really makes me feel like question number 2, from everything I've heard, is better. It needs improvement, with 3 being satisfactory, in my opinion. And plugging in. So that's just my 2 cents.
I agree with Shelley. If there was a spot where we're looking at whether we do enough strategically, that looks more like number 2 than 3.
Okay, fair. Anyone else?
I'm gonna stick firm with my needs improvement because while committees are temporary and they're meant for one specific purpose, I've seen seasonal committees come around. Like, we could have a seasonal marketing committee that would really push hard during the times where we're trying to get enrollment, and they will have these objectives basically. So yeah, like, I feel like on my years of being on the board, I've heard several things being repeated that need committees, and then the committees are formed, but nothing really happens with them. So keeping that consistent and setting dates for when committees start and end, and then mandating reports from those committees, I think that would really streamline our objectives and our goals as a policy committee. I don't know if that makes sense.
Really, what I hear you saying is we need SMART goals for our committees because they're not time-bound or measurable and often not even very specific. And I think that's why we have a hard time deciding whether we're good at them or not.
Yeah, and that's what, like, with the marketing committee, often we don't hear a lot from the marketing committee because it's kind of broad, it's not narrowed down. But with the principal hiring committee, that was very specific. It was very time-based, and and it was just very structured. And I don't say the committees need structure. I think they need a little bit of guidance when they do come up.
Okay. What I'm hearing is that I think we're in agreement that we need to be more strategic. I mean, that's the overall summary. Whether it's question 2 or question 3, I don't know if we need to split hairs on that, but to me, if you create committees, then you would need to be good at number 3. Otherwise, who cares if you have a committee?
So I think the board can do a better job of forming / launching committees as far as establishing objectives for the board, saying, here's what we want you to do. So I think, the onus is on the board for when we form a committee to set them up for success by giving them good objectives and then, getting that shared information back and launching it. So I think this is an area where we need improvement.
Okay.
So under evidence, Laura, I put committees have been productive as needed, but require more strategic focus and follow through. So sum it up.
Yeah. How does everybody else feel about that summary that Amy just said? We're okay there? Okay, I think we should just leave it at there instead of trying to figure out which one is satisfactory and which ones needs improvement. Just note that in your notes, maybe it's 2, 3. We know that we want to do something with committees when we form them. with our goals next time. We want to be more strategic. Are we okay on that one? Do we need to vote? Are we good? We're good? Okay.
Good to go.
Good to go. Okay. Thank you for hanging in. We're almost there. So part 3, I know it's a long process. That's why we said we needed a whole meeting for this. Part 3, I said in my email, we are not having to come to consensus on this year. For the reasons that I've already stated, as them not being in our in the bylaws per se. So, and we don't need to decide about whether we're putting them in the bylaws or not. But for now, is there anything in part 3 that anybody wants to bring up as far as notes that need to be captured? And part 3 had to do with our communication, decorum, and teamwork.
I think it's very good.
Okay. So hearing no comments, and that's fine. Amy, you can maybe just write down that we did not discuss it, or we had an opportunity to discuss it, but we don't have any major comments there. We're going to move on to part 4, which also just has 3 questions. And thanks again, Amy, for keeping track of this. Chain of command. Chain of command is the last section, I think. Yes. Okay. We're going to start with Kevin. Number 1, we understand our role in governance of the school, allowing the principal to act as an executive officer.
I think we actually do a great job with that as kind of the strategic oversight for the school and letting the principal execute that. So I'm going with excellent.
Thanks, Kevin. Brenda.
I was just kind of torn between excellent and satisfactory, only because sometimes it's not 100% understood our goal or our roles, our roles in everything. But in general, I think we do a great job.
So is that satisfactory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Laura?
Did we lose Laura?
Laura?
Oh, looks like she's working on her mic. Let's skip Laura and go to Carter, and then hopefully Laura can hop back on.
I would go with satisfactory, bordering on excellence, or excellent. I think that we do a really good job of understanding kind of where our grasp kind of stops as far as where we can go with the school and where we want to go, and we let the principal take it from there. So excellent. Yeah, excellent.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay, I'm back now. Sorry.
That's okay. It's your turn, Laura.
This has been my worst Zoom reception lately. My turn. We're on number 1. I I said excellent because our job is to be hands off, and I think we do a good job of not being a micromanagement board and at the same time try to stay informed. I would agree that we could learn more and have more clarity around our role as a board, but I put excellent. Kelly.
I put satisfactory, and maybe I was looking at it the wrong way, but I just remember looking through the roles of the individual board jobs and being like, oh, wow, is that what I'm supposed to be doing? So I think as a board, we understand our role as a whole, but as far as individual members, I think sometimes it's a little, what actually is my job.
Right, that's fair. Thank you. Amy.
I have excellent. I'm hearing some of the points about satisfactory. I think those are great points, but I'm sticking with excellent.
Thanks. Shelley.
I too marked excellent, and really for a lot of the same points that have already been said.
Thank you. Lily.
I'm gonna say excellent because where the roles are defined, the people that fulfill those roles do those roles well and to the best of their ability. Like I don't know what role I am on the board, honestly. So I'm kind of just here, but I know that the principal satisfies their role with bringing us reports on what's happening at Highland and getting feedback from the board as well. And then the student reps, they always bring what they think would be best for the student body and what concerns the student body may have with certain items. And then of course the parents, they're always amazing, and they say how it's been communicated with the parents, if that was effective or things like that. So with community members, it's kind of, our community is really broad, so it's a little bit harder to define those, I would say. So I think we also need to look at the definitions. And I'm probably getting really technical here, but I'm used to like assembly audits and all that, so.
Yep. No, thank you, Lily. And we've brought up wanting to work on our job descriptions in the past. So no, that's thank you. Alex.
I think it's excellent also, because honestly, I don't see anybody that has a bone to pick or a tail they want to kick, you know, and a lot of boards you see that, you know, someone got on here to get rid of you or that one or something like that. In the time I've been on this board, I've never noticed any of that type of fighting, you know, or anyone wanting to gain something out of it other than service.
Right. Okay. Thank you. John.
I said excellent for the reasons everyone mentioned.
Okay. Thank you.
So we are mostly excellent. It looks like we've got 2 satisfactory. If I'm correct, I somehow got my numbers mixed up a little bit. But I think we are 2 satisfactory, 8 excellent.
You're right.
I can go to excellent as a whole because my satisfactory was just based on clarity of individual job description.
And the same for me, so I have no problems going up.
Okay. So we don't need to vote on that. I do want us to note though that that's another operational or documentation type of task we could work on with regards to that individual, you know, role description or whatnot. Just making a note of that. Very cool. All right, we're moving on. Number 2. We got 2 more to go. We're almost there.
All right.
Lily, are you raising your hand?
Oh no, sorry, I'm resting my hand on like what my phone is.
Oh. Okay, great. Okay, John, kicking us off. Number 2, board members understand their relationship with the school staff and interact appropriately, respecting the relationship between principal and staff.
I said excellent. I don't think there's a lot of interference. Everything seems appropriate and respectful.
We don't hear you, John.
I heard him.
I heard him.
Okay, I said excellent. I think board members have shown respect and appropriate relationship with the staff and principals. So I got no problem with excellent.
Thanks, John. Alex?
I agree with John on that. Excellent as far as I can see there. You know, the board maintains its distance. It's not in here to try and undermine the principal or, you know, any of those things or get certain ideas across. So I feel it's excellent myself.
Thank you, Alex. Lily?
I'm gonna have to say excellent based on what the board's role is and what staff's role is. There are really two different roles there, and we do come together when needed, and we do share information with each other pretty effectively. So I'm gonna say excellent there.
Thank you. Shelley?
I will also say excellent and don't think I need to repeat anything that's already been said.
Thanks. Amy?
I had satisfactory, I guess mostly because I didn't feel like this was something to pat ourselves on the back for. When I
Right.
read it, I just thought, we do that. And I couldn't come up with any evidence. I also have to point out I'm married to someone on staff, and so I was keeping my distance from the question.
Point. Okay. Thanks. Kelly?
Excellent.
Thanks, Kelly. Carter?
Excellent.
Thanks, Carter. I had satisfactory, kind of for the same reason Amy said. I was like, yeah, we do that, but I wasn't like, oh, we're like above and beyond. I'm fine with saying we're excellent, but yeah, same thing. Brenda?
I was the same way. I'd put satisfactory, but I was kind of the same thing that you and Amy have said, and I can definitely go up to excellent. That's not a problem.
Awesome. Thank you. Kevin?
We have well-defined lanes and we stay within them most excellently.
Well said, Kevin. Well said. All right.
All right, that's 7 excellent and 3 satisfactory.
Okay. Is there any argument from those that said satisfactory that we move to excellent? Hearing none. I think that means we can skip the thumbs. And we have one to go. Kevin's going to kick us off. Contentious issues and grievances.
All right, this is another one of those long questions. It seems like it has multi-part. So do we handle things within ASD guidelines and the contractual obligations? Yes. Do we always direct them to the most appropriate party? I think so. So I'm a satisfactory there, but I could be convinced to go higher.
Thanks, Kevin. Brenda?
I put satisfactory as well, because for as much as we don't have a ton of grievances and all, and we know what the rules are, but I'm still kind of iffy, so I would put satisfactory.
Thanks, Brenda. Ditto. Satisfactory for everything they just said. Carter?
Satisfactory as well for same reasons stated earlier.
Thank you. Kelly?
Satisfactory.
Thanks, Kelly. Amy?
I also had satisfactory, but I will own up that I'm not really that familiar with the guidelines or the contractual obligations that are referenced.
Yeah, and you saying that, yeah, because they're meaty. Right? But I did think of just everything.
Yeah, so I'm saying we do it fine, but I don't really know that I know that. And that's
Right, right. Yep, it's fair. Shelley?
Yeah, I can say satisfactory as well. I don't know that the board's been super involved in anything since I've been on the board. So, I mean, there's definitely been some contentious issues that maybe have come up at the school that have been brought to that the board's been kept apprised of. And those seem to be handled appropriately. But yeah. So I'm good with satisfactory.
I appreciate that we have Daryl come to our meetings whenever there might be an issue that we need clarification about.
Yeah, he's very supportive. And I will just add to that, he's a representative of secondary ed. So, you know, I would consider him an extension of the support we see from ASD.
Where are we at?
We just lost Laura again, but we're on
Oh.
Lily.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say satisfactory, mainly because my time on the board, we haven't had too many issues where it deals with like that super meaty legal things, protocols and procedures we have to follow. But what we have had come up, we do follow the procedures, protocols, confidentialities as best as we can. And of course, Daryl's always there to be like, no, can't do that. So that's a great help as well.
Mhm.
Alex?
Okay, I would say satisfactory also. And for me personally, one of the main reasons is the fact that we've been fortunate in not having so many issues come up so often till we became excellent at dealing with it. We just don't have that many issues that come up of that nature. And I feel like satisfactory is the best way to have it, personally.
All right.
I said satisfactory as well, but you know, thinking about it, contentious issues and grievances. If we're doing if the system is running smoothly, then most of us don't even necessarily hear about them. Amy gets that stuff, and AEA contractual obligations mean we're not even supposed to be hearing about it, and so I think she'd be a better judge than us because we don't know what we're not hearing. That being said, it makes me wonder again, what would you have to do to have excellent on this rather than satisfactory? Because it's pretty much almost, if we're doing our job right, then if things aren't going crazy, then we're not really getting mired in contentious issues and grievances, because that has to work with the administration and the staff, not us. So I'm going to go with satisfactory because that seems to be the default, but I don't see how it isn't excellent, because we don't do that stuff either. It just it depends on the rubric, but I'll go satisfactory.
Okay.
John, I would add that the only way we could get, the board could get to excellent for this is if we know that parents are engaged and involved on all different levels. And that's come up before just a few minutes ago. So if we knew that the parent engagement was at a certain level, then we could say, oh, okay, there have been some grievances, or there haven't been grievances and we've got this high level of engagement, so we must be excellent.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're satisfactory because we don't have enough grievances.
There you go. I hear
I don't
you.
say it's
Unanimous on
I'm
this
not
one.
saying I want to be tested, but that's where we're
Right.
at.
It's almost non-app in A, you know, maybe it should
Yeah.
read as needed.
Yeah, 'cause it's also we haven't had bad experiences resolving grievances and difficulties within the board or issues brought up to the board. So it's kind of just like we're not saying we're the best at it, but we haven't been bad at it, you know?
Right. We haven't been tested.
And there's plenty of other boards out there that are tested.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and it's a hot situation. So it's nice to not be in that boat.
Yes. So sorry, I cut out again, but are we in agreement on that one then?
I think it's our only unanimous one.
Yeah.
The number one, I think number one was almost unanimous. Yeah, very cool.
Almost.
Yeah.
Okay,
Woo.
so awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. You got through all of those questions. Woo, woo.
Woo.
What I'm going to say due to time is what will happen next as far as next steps is we're going to collect all this information and get it in a nice, easy to read through and understand narrative. And then as we discussed at our last meeting, we will use this in moving forward to help set goals and tasks for next year as far as improvement. So again, thanks for your diligence and contributions on this. I think we have a lot of good data as a result. So
Great.
to be continued. And Amy, you can, if you would, just shoot me that. Thanks again for taking the notes.
Absolutely.
I'll own making it a narrative or whatever. For,
Okay. And I can help you with that too, Laura, if you'd like, since I was more of a, I was passively engaged, where you guys were all actively engaged.
Okay. So yeah, I think for now that concludes that part of the agenda.
Okay.
Right. So now we move to item number 7. Executive session to discuss the principal's contract for this coming year. Do we have a motion
I
on?
make a motion to move into executive session.
Second,
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Unfortunately, I'm unable to stay for the executive session as much as I'd love to. So, bye guys, it's great seeing you.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Lily.
Bye guys.
Stay well.
See you after the apocalypse.
Okay, take care now.
Good to see you.
All right. Okay, we didn't vote yet, did we? All those in favor of going into executive session, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay.
Aye, aye.
Okay, the ayes got it. So I guess we'll get ready to go into executive session here.
Yep. 1 minute. I need to go off of live on YouTube since we are
Okay.
now in executive session.